are we're live. Hey man, there's been some heated things going on between Shakur Stevens and the Haney, Devin Haney. But I'm gonna get to that in a minute. But Shakur, not Shakur Stevenson, but it looks like this is Gervonta Davis' first promotional thing on his own. He's not with TMT as of right now. He said that later, maybe down the road, they can work again. He said that they still got a decent relationship or a pretty good relationship, but we'll see about that. But yeah, man, Gervonta Davis out here doing his own thing, man. That's great that these fighters are able to get to a certain level to where they can, take things into their own hands, control their own career. Let's see what he does with it from here on out. A lot of people say that Mayweather was holding Gervonta Davis away from, fighting, really good fights. So let's just see what he does. I know him and Ryan Garcia supposedly signed to fight in two fights. I don't care for that whole two fight. I want fighters to fight. If you're gonna say you're gonna fight, man, let the fight be next. Why is it two fights away? We all know what happened with Tyson and Holyfield. Don King wanted to get Tyson a fight before the Holyfield fight. He lost to Buster Douglas. Of recent, not recent, but of recent history, as few as maybe 10 years ago, Juan Manuel Lopez was supposed to fight Gamboa. They both was undefeated. They both were having spectacular performances. Salido got in there and upsetted Juan Manuel, and that fight never happened. So boxing is a sport. You just can't do that, man. You just cannot do that. I remember Bernard Hopkins was sitting ringside when De La Hoya was fighting the fight before he was going to fight Hopkins, and De La Hoya, I'm gonna be honest, he lost the fight. The guy beat De La Hoya, man. De La Hoya got the decision. It's a big fight with Hopkins, so he got the decision. But De La Hoya did not look good at all. At the very least, De La Hoya did not look good at all. I remember Pernell Whitaker was fighting a Cuban fighter before he was going to fight De La Hoya. Pernell Whitaker was losing that fight. He ended up knocking the Cuban out, knocking him through the ropes. But he ended up winning that fight. And De La Hoya, I believe De La Hoya was in the crowd for that fight. So it's never safe in boxing to have one fight in between, let alone two fights. That's why I'm not really taking this serious. I'm not going to take a fight serious when y'all say we're going to fight in two fights. It's hard for me to get excited about it. You know what I'm saying? If those two guys fight, I mean, you get an edge. You give a slight edge to Gervonta Davis. He got better opposition. Ryan is still an unknown to me. He can fight. He got Joe Goosen as his new trainer. My problem with Ryan Garcia is he stands up too straight. He stands up too straight, too tall, and it's easier for him to get sloppy in there. Hold on, y'all, 1 second. All right, I'm back. But start back where I left off at. Ryan Garcia has some flaws that I'm worried about. I'm worried about him pushing back in a straight line. That's how he got knocked down in one of his fights. He kind of fight robotic, like you know what I'm saying, like kind of robotic a little bit. Um, and that concerns me against someone like Gervonta Davis, even though Ryan Garcia has some really good um advantages in this fight. He's taller, he's longer. He believe he's like closer to 5'10". Gervonta Davis is like 5'5" or 5'6". Gervonta Davis is um powerful. He can box himself. Ryan Garcia left hook is pretty good. Now, if Ryan Garcia come in here and fight behind his jab, then we might have a fight. We might have a great fight. If he come in here and he can't establish his jab and he let Gervonta Davis get on the inside, because Gervonta Davis will be going to his body. He's definitely going to be going to Ryan Garcia's body. That's one thing that Gervonta Davis does have in his favor is he's right there at the body. Ryan Garcia is 5'10" with a long torso. That's not good for boxing to have a long torso. Can't really cover up your body with your elbows. You know what I'm saying? So Gervonta Davis will be going to the body in this fight. He will be smart if he goes. He will be smart. It'd be smart of him to go to the body continuously to change levels on Ryan and then go over the top. If Gervonta Davis come out here and try to knock Ryan out and don't go to the body, it's gonna be a long night for Gervonta Davis. Ryan Garcia, like I said, he's gonna have to use that jab, man. Fight behind the jab. Make the shorter guy come in. Make the shorter guy come in. Make him pay. Make him get past the jab. If he can get past the jab, your right hand, your left hook. If that's not, if Ryan Garcia doesn't do things of that nature, then it's gonna be a long night for him. He's gonna get stopped. But any one of these guys can get stopped. I really don't see this going a distance. I truly believe one of these guys are going to get stopped. At the very least, it's going to be knockdowns in this fight. But I will bet my money that somebody's going to get stopped. Like I said, I would have to give a slight edge to Gervonta Davis. What you think, Phil, about this matchup? If it happens, it's 2 fights away. I don't like the whole 2 fights away thing. I'm not a fan of a fight being 2 fights away. That's just me.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the fight is actually, we don't even know if the fight is going to get made. Like you say, 2 fights away. I mean, we can see even a lot of improvement from both fighters within 2 fights, right? So with all things being equal right now, obviously I think Tank Davis is the more experienced fighter, right? With that being said, I think that both these guys still hadn't had a true step up fight, somebody that they are either 50-50 with or could potentially upset them as far as being the favorite. Um, which is kind of unfortunate because Tank has been fighting much longer than Ryan Garcia. But to me personally, it seems as though Ryan Garcia is the one that's pursuing the fight. He's the one that's more aggressive in trying to make the fight happen. Obviously, we know about the situation where Eddie sent a offer to Tank Davis, and he leaked it on his Twitter. Um, Tank is now saying that Ryan Garcia could potentially be on steroids. I mean, it's just a whole bunch of foolery going on in regards to Tank Davis and his side of the street, right? So we all know that he's not in a happy situation with his promotional company and his management. So I don't really know how focused Tank is as far as being a fighter because he seems to be super duper concerned with the business side of things. And honestly, I think that stuff go hand in hand. I don't think a fighter should have to worry about those things because all a fighter should be wanting to do is just get in the ring and handle his business, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, with that being said, Ryan Garcia is also a guy who has faced his own adversity when it comes to, um, depression and stuff like that, right? So, you're dealing with 2 guys to me that are very delicate individuals, that are very emotional individuals, but at the same time, From a boxing standpoint, if I just want to compare these two guys, obviously, like I said, Tank Davis has the experience factor in his favor. I think Ryan Garcia right now, I think he has a different hunger though. See, sometimes a hunger is something that you really can't explain. It's not a tangible skill. It's just something that's in you, right? And I think right now he realizes that, he's blessed. Ryan Garcia, that is, he's blessed and he's very, 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 very talented, and he can um, be somebody that's good for the sport. He could potentially be somebody that's a great in his era, and I think now he's realizing that he's got everything together as far as his he's stepping up and saying, "Hey, I want to fight these big names in the division." Tank Davis is the first name that I'm going after. So I would like the fight to happen. I think Ryan Garcia does make a lot of fundamental mistakes. I don't think it's nothing that can't be corrected with a lot of practice. As far as defensively, I think sometimes he oversteps his jab. He leans on his front feet a lot of times. When he's leaning forward, he can easily fall into a Tank Davis punch. When he throws his hooks, it's crossing his body. It's not sharp. Just small stuff like that, I think could be a very dangerous move against a guy like Tank Davis, because we all know he has that dynamite in both his hands. So, with that being said, I do think Tank Davis is the kind of guy who starts out really slow. And I think if Ryan Garcia could put him in a bad predicament early in the fight, stand behind that long jab, keep him at range, I think he can have some success against Tank. Um, I think if Ryan doesn't get impatient, I think he can have some success against Tank. The thing about this right here, the longer the fight goes on, the more frustrated Tank Davis gets. That is not a good thing for a fighter, because he's so used to knocking guys out, right? I mean, just think about the fight that he had with Pitbull Cruz. I mean, you could see the frustration on his face as the fight went on and it got toward the end of the fight, and he almost lost that fight. So Tank Davis is going to have to learn how to be more patient. He's going to have to learn how to be steady for 12 rounds. Okay. And when I say steady, I mean he's going to have to come out and he's going to have to pick up the pace early, and he's going to have to maintain that pace, and even practically and even possibly pick up that pace on the back end if he needs to. All that starting slow stuff against a really good fighter will not pan out well for him. And because a guy like a Devin Haney is going to be patient throughout the fight, is going to stand behind that jab, and he's not going to rush in to mix it up with Tank. So Tank is going to have to get that portion of his game together. But I think, both these guys have massive punching power. Both these guys have flaws. And at the end of the day, they can do things to exploit one another. What's going to be the telltale is how these guys perform these next two fights, to see what these kids have worked on um, over the past few months. B Talk, you still there?
Yeah, man. I just don't. It's an intriguing matchup. I just don't like the two fights in between type of thing. I don't like that. Like, these guys are young right now. Why don't they just go ahead and make the fight? Okay, just make it net. Yeah, it should have been the fight. It should have been their next fight. I don't understand these guys thinking on. Oh man, see, anybody from 130 to 140, these guys should be mixing it up. There's so much money there. Look at all these guys, man. Look at all these guys that can potentially fight, you can have a Josh Taylor. You can have a Regis is back in the picture. Adrian Broner is coming back in the picture. You got T.O. still out there. All these fights, Shakur, Devin Haney, all these fights, Pitbull, all these fights that can potentially be made, they need to start fighting. I mean, come on, man. A lot of these guys who we call young 2, 3 years ago, they in their mid-20s now. How much longer you gonna be young?
Hello.
Y'all thoughts? Go ahead, get the smoke.
Hey, what's up, Wayne? It's been a minute, man. So much has happened, and yet controversy in boxing still is putting butts in seats, right? Um, yeah, the last time we were talking, it was about the Terrence Crawford to come out on his IG live, and now the lightweight division is heating up. Yeah, we had the Gervonta Davis, Hector Garcia. I'm sorry I got to the stream late, but you said something about being young and how long are these guys being young, how long they're going to be young. I think 24 is still young, um, and I don't think pushing 30 though is young. So like, what is up with Tank fighting Hector Garcia at like 28 years old? I don't think that's young. I mean, it's young in terms of like what he's going to do. Hopefully, his lifespan, but like young in terms of how long he's been boxing, not so much. I don't know if you can hear me, if you're blanked out, but yeah, I've been like a little bit close to the Shakur Stevenson thing. How's my audio? Can you hear me? Oh, yeah, I see Coach in there talking about Spence ducking. Oh my God, man, that's
Yeah, your audio is fine. Oh, well, I thought it was fine. It seemed like you just dropped off. Uh, yeah, man. Just as far as these guys, like, yeah, I'm in agreement with Smoke. I think Tank Davis is taking a fight right now that's practically unnecessary. He needs to fight a better, a bigger, a more polished opponent. Not taking nothing away from his opponent, but I just think that it's better fights to be made for Tank Davis. I mean, obviously Ryan Garcia is still he's in his mid 20s. He's young, he's vibrant, and it seems like he's hungry right now. Which most guys in their mid 20s coming in that's very talented are hungry, and he wants to mix it up with Tank. The Tank's not giving me that vibe. He wants the same thing. I could be wrong, but you never know. I mean, Tank needs to show me something. He needs to uh, stop doing all this bantering online and really show me that he is the guy that he say he is. Because at this point, I just know he's the guy that hits hard, that really doesn't have any uh, opponents that I felt as though could potentially beat him or be a 50-50 fight. That's just my opinion. I'm not taking anything away from his opponents because he has fought against some credible guys. I just think that, the weight classes were a little skewed. I just think, it was a whole lot of uh, bullshit or baloney in regards to the guys that he was fighting. Still in all, guys were coming up several weight classes to fight the kid. Although these were credible opponents, I never felt that Tank was going to be in any kind of danger, is what I'm saying. So I don't want to shortchange those guys because a lot of those guys are good for boxing. They've done a lot for boxing, but I'm talking about getting in the ring with a guy that the public is really splitting hairs on who they think is going to win the fight. I just hadn't seen an opponent like that, and that's what I'm waiting on. I don't even know if Ryan Garcia is that guy, to be honest with you. But what I do know is Ryan Garcia does want the smoke, and Tank Davis isn't giving the responses that I would prefer him to give. But we'll see how this shapes up.
Hey, what's up, Phil? Um, and sorry, I hit the wrong button. Coach was in there. He's consistent, man. He sticks to his guns. He stands on his square. He made me laugh with that one. Um, but yeah, the Tank Davis referring to sparring sessions in promotion of a fight that he has just tells us what we need to know about Hector Garcia. No matter how you want to, talk up his last two fights, upsetting, guys who had a lot of heat behind them. Um, yeah, nobody expects him to do any better than Tank's other opponents who got knocked out, around the halfway marker before. Um, I think it would be somewhat of a victory in the Isaac Cruz category if he made it to the final bell. But okay, um, yeah, I like Tank a whole bunch. But if you're talking about the legacy of Tank, then I think it's going to be. I think the story is going to be of unrealized potential, really, and I think a lot of the story of Tank might be like predicated on what the legacy of Floyd Mayweather is. The fact that the book for the hardcore fans that follow these kind of stuff, the ins and outs and minutia, is that Floyd didn't want anybody to surpass him, and if for the people who saw that Mickey Bay interview, he pointed out how Tank has like succeeded in spite of Floyd, not because of Floyd necessarily, and that's because of having Al Heyman as his manager, and every other fighter that Floyd has had has sort of succumbed to the idea that Floyd doesn't want to have people outshine him. Now, that's all, like I said, that is all how hardcore fans and people who are very in tune with every twist and turn of the plot and the story that we get, at least in the public. But yeah, that's what it seems like. It seems like maybe Tank, the reason why he's fighting the Hector Garcias of the world is because when he was in his physical prime, when he was preternaturally fast and soaking up the game and just wanting to prove to the world that he was the best versus feeling like he is the best. That those years were like squandered in the stewardship of a guy who really didn't want to see the best version of Tank Davis because it might have threatened his own legacy. That very well could be the case. But for this next fight, yeah, the young boys are outshining him, and these tales of sparring when he was 21 years old and they were like not even old enough to vote, they're kind of uncompelling. I like Tank, and I expect a spectacular performance. I expect an electric event and the atmosphere to be out of this world, and I will definitely be tuned in. When it comes to the idea of being young, he's only young to old people when it comes to this fight game.
Yeah, I don't understand why sparring is so much talked about. Now, I get the whole social media aspect. If you're gonna talk about it, at least show it and let us have our own opinion on it instead of y'all going back and forth. They say Ellie Setback got a copy. They say Floyd got a copy. Uh, get the copy and put it out. Because my thing about this about sparring, I don't understand why people get so hyped about sparring. Because everybody get their ass kicked in sparring. I don't care who you are, from Floyd Mayweather on down to Sugar Ray Leonard on down to Ali. Everybody get their ass kicked in sparring because when you come into sparring, a lot of times guys come in there, they're not in shape all year round, and they get in the ring with somebody that's probably a little bit of a gym rat that always in the gym sparring, and the guy gets the best of you. So if a guy I don't understand, I don't understand why these guys gets upset when the guys say I got the best of you in sparring. Now I get it, your ego, I get it, it's your ego, but you kicked a lot of butt in sparring. you're going to get, if you spar long enough, you're going to get your butt kicked in sparring. That's just way that's the way it is. This story is coming out that Tyson Fury getting beat up by what's that guy name? He's a prospect, the heavyweight, the black guy. He getting beat up in sparring by that guy.
Anderson?
So yeah, he getting beat up by that guy. So it happens, people. Yeah, it happens. It happens. I remember Spatter 4 and was getting in Mayweather, getting in Mayweather and had Mayweather land on the mat after they got done sparring because Mayweather was just not coming back to sparring, and Spatter 4 was already getting ready for a fight. Spatter 4 was like about a month away from his fight, so he was in shape. So that stuff happens, people. People get dealt with in sparring. So, but my thing is, if y'all gonna talk about it, just show it. So you can get the most publicity out of it. Just show the sparring so we can see what happened. We got Adrian Broner version. We got Bill Haney version. We got Gervonta Davis version. We got Devin Haney version. We got everybody version. Just drop the whole tape out there and let us see. But
you know what? You know, Wayne. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Now, you know what? I think all the versions say the same thing. Like really is the only thing you have to read between the lines, I think, is understanding the situation. Like, and it's not even read between the lines. You just have to provide the context. If it's doghouse rules and there's money on the line, if what Adrian Broner says is correct, the way people are interpreting what Adrian Broner says is correct, and his own actions, the sparring should have ended right there. But it didn't. So it seems as though Adrian Broner was kind of fronting and everybody fucking knew it.
Yeah, see, this is what I get from it. I do believe that Davis stunned Haney. I believe that.
Yeah.
And I believe Haney outlasted him to get the money. That's what I believe. That's what I believe happened. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's what I believe happened.
All that happened, right? Exactly. That's the whole thing. Like Adrian Broner, like jumping in, like if he was justified, if the room felt like he was justified in jumping in, then the sparring would have ended right there. But it didn't.
It didn't end right there. Yeah, it didn't end right there. Yeah. You're right. It didn't end right there. Look, it's all in fun. But one thing about boxing is because it's somebody's can get their butt kicked. It's about people's egos, man. This is not basketball. This is not football. This is actually somebody putting hands on you. And we all know how our egos can get when somebody say, "Oh, I beat you up." No, you beat. We know how that can go. Y'all need to start fighting in the ring so we can see who really the best is. That's just what it is. Let's just see who the best is. I think Shakur Stevenson, in my opinion, I know y'all got y'all own opinions. I think Shakur Stevenson is the cream of the crop out of that anybody from 130 to 140. I think Stevenson can beat. I think he can beat all those guys. I mean, I'm not saying he can run through all those guys. I'm just saying if he fight T.O., I got him. If he fight Josh Taylor, I got him. I'm not saying those going to be easy fights by no means, but I think Shakur Stevenson is the cream of the crop of those guys. Now, the guy that got the potential to probably come out on top, and there's a wild card, is Gervonta Davis. But my thing with Gervonta Davis is, has his growth been stunted with the Mayweather experience? That's just my thing. I mean, because if you want to look at it, Gervonta Davis should have already defeated Lomachenko three years ago, at least 3 years ago. He should already have Lomachenko under his belt, that Lomachenko fight. At the very least, he should have had that fight under his belt, but he doesn't. So, and he let Devin Haney and them come in here and catch him. He let Devin Haney and Shakur Stevenson catch him, and he turned pro 4 years before them, 4 or 5 years before them. And they already caught up with him. They haven't caught up with him in money, getting the money. But as far as legacy, they caught up with him, and Devin Haney has passed him. Devin Haney is undisputed.
I would even say that I think Haney has probably caught him financially as well. Devin Haney has done.
You're right about that. Devin Haney been getting the bag for a while. You're right, since Eddie Hearn. You're right.
He been getting some lucrative. He made some lucrative deals with the Zone and Eddie Hearn. Obviously, and with the ESPN thing, he took less money, and I consider his purses to be pretty damn good, right? So, look, man, this is the thing right here. I don't put much stock into sparring anyway. For a lot of the reasons that Wayne Talk just expressed himself. Uh, in my opinion, sparring sparring outside of doghouse rules with money on the line. A lot of times, guys get in there and they're working on certain things, right? A lot of times, you're just trying to get in shape, right? Um, you just can't put a lot of stock into that thing. And these guys are obviously both elite fighters, right? At the time, they were what with one another. At the time, for where they were elite in that range of guys that they were sparring with, coming up together. So, look, man, at the end of the day, I think that all this talk about the sparring to me is just ridiculous. It doesn't mean anything because as Wayne Talk just mentioned, these guys need to get in the ring and fight for real to see who is really the best. I don't care if you guys spar. What I care about is who's the best today, and you guys get in the ring with one another. And that's what you guys need to do to prove yourself. Um, this social media era, man, it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. Sometimes it can be too much banter. You understand what I'm saying? You know, uh, it's not when people saturate the market with the social media. It's not like when we used to get the press conferences back in the day, and guys couldn't wait to see them because we couldn't just turn on YouTube and YouTube, and we couldn't get on IG Live and go to somebody's page and see what they saying. Nah, we couldn't wait. These guys both had the opportunity to say what they needed to say in a short time span, and a lot of times it created a lot of um, build up for the fight, anticipation for the fight, and it just made for better entertainment, in my opinion. I think a lot of this stuff is saturated. I think because we have such access to social media and a here and a now world, I think that we become numb to it, and also guys are just looking for stuff to say to keep themselves relevant. Well, the easiest way to keep yourself relevant is to get in there and whoop somebody's ass. And we're not seeing a lot of that, but we're seeing a lot of this other shit. And it's very disappointing and disturbing that these guys talk more than they actually fight. So, in my opinion, I'm not putting a lot of stock in the sparring, and I'm not putting a lot of stock in these guys going back and forth talking shit. But I will put stock into somebody actually showing me that they want to be the best in the world, and that's just my opinions on it. I don't know how you guys feel.
I echo it. Only I guess I don't have a whole lot of heat for the back and forth. Like I'm not sort of like disdainful as it sounds like you are. I understand from my perspective, me experiencing the sport the way that I do for as long as I have. I expect that Shakur is not Latino enough for them to meet at 135, and there's not enough money in that fight at 135. And Devin, there's just not enough money in that fight at 135. So I expect them to meet up at some point, but probably at 147 for millions of dollars. And this is how you keep it relevant. This is the way you do PR in the 21st century, right? The same way that boxing lives on YouTube, their comments live on YouTube.
What you said, 147?
Yeah.
Man, dude, that's like what, 10 fights away, 12 fights away?
Yeah, like 4 or 5.
I don't even, I don't even, I
I
don't,
think
I
like
don't
4 or
even,
5,
I don't
like
even,
32. Yeah, when Tank's on the
yeah,
other side of 30.
when
He's
no, these,
calling it a career.
nah, that's way too long, bro. That's the problem with it
I
right
mean,
there. That's the issue.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you seem to be a little bit more. I'm a little bit more sanguine about it, just because, man, I just witnessed Roy Jones and Mike Tyson marinate for 17 years. To me, I don't get up in arms. I'm gonna get my picket signs out on these guys, who I understand are they kind of grew up together. That they're probably not gonna fight unless it's for the maximum amount of money, and they have nobody else to fight, and it's totally for legacy and a bunch of money.
Yeah, no, I mean, I kind of think that's the problem, right? I mean, is no time better than the present. If you guys are the two best at your craft at the same time, then why do we want to fight each other in 5 years? That to me, that's just ridiculous. Nobody in any other profession says, let me let me let me waste away my better years so I can see about doing my best work later on down the line. Like, no, you do what you're supposed to do in the moment. I don't understand why these guys are wants to wait until they get to 147 pounds. You never know what's gonna happen with this boxing shit, man. Because who's to say that? I mean, obviously, look, who's to say that in 5 years there's not another guy that's coming up in the division? Like, fight right now, because then that's gonna be the next big fight. I mean, I just think you're shortchanging yourself when you have the opportunity to prove yourself against one of the better opponents in your weight class or close to your weight class.
It's fun.
And
Yeah. Sorry. So go ahead.
yeah, and right now, I don't see why a guy will wait until 147 pounds when these guys are still fighting at 35. One guy just got to 35, so he's literally 3 weight classes away from 47, and the other kid is 2 weight classes away from 47. It just makes no sense at all to me. But hey, if guys want to wait 5 and 6 years to prove that, hey, I could beat this guy when he's probably already taken a loss, somebody's already exploited the kid, then be my guest. But that's not. I don't think that's smart. You fight him when he's in his prime. So at the end of the day, when you go back and look, just like Sugar Ray and all those guys did when they were fighting, they say, no, I fought him when he was at his best. Like, that's what you're supposed to do, man. You're not supposed to wait 5 and 6 years to fight these guys, man. But I rest my case. What you got?
Um, I think it's. I think it's. It depends on how you describe short change, right? Because I totally agree with you. Um, you want to see these guys fighting their primes or close to their prime. I don't even know. Like, is Shakur in his prime? Is Devin Haney in his prime? I think Tank. Even is he in his prime? I think he's on the backside. Those guys are on the front side. I don't know. Anyway, that's not even so much the issue for me. But I do understand what you're saying when right now is a great time for them to fight, and the idea that you're gonna wait just for like maximum return on the fight is like doing yourself a disservice and the sport a disservice and the fans a disservice. Like, I get if you usually shortchanging that way, but shortchanging in the financial terms, I don't think you are actually. I think that 147 pounds has always been a lot more lucrative than 135. And while these guys are anomalies and they're making a whole bunch of money at 135, uh, if they're at 147, they would still be anomalies making more money than other people at 147. Like, the reason why I think they're not making even more money is because they're at 135. And that's just my reading of it. Like, I'm not necessarily like saying that, for people who are, like looking at the purity of the product and, what's probably best for them, for all people involved outside of, financial concerns, cool. But if you throw the money aspect into it, then it starts to make sense as to why they would wait. And Shakur is moving through weight classes very fast. He's not like staying at weight classes. Yeah, it's 2 up, but yeah. Devin Haney is coming in to, to fight drained and hydrating up to like, junior middleweight. Yeah, the idea that I think that he'll be at 140 for maybe a year, probably 2023, and probably at 2024 he'll be at welter. I think maybe 2025, a couple years, Shakur will be there. There's not very many fights for Shakur at 35, and I think Tank will be making a whole bunch of money knocking dudes out. So yeah, I think that I think it's more like a 3 to 4 year kind of projection, not like a 4 to 5 year. But I expect him to be at 147 in 2025. I'd expect him to fight around 2025, 2026.
So
I mean
let me ask you something.
2023. Where's 2023 now?
So let me ask you something. What is wrong with these guys fighting now and then fighting again at 47?
The only thing that I think is wrong, and this is just my own thing, right, is I don't like the way Devin Haney looked on his last weigh-in. However long he stays there is his own business, but I won't be talking about him staying down there. When it comes to Shakur Stevenson, I don't think the only reason I think they wouldn't fight is because of right now the way boxing is, they're siloed off into different networks. So I don't expect that fight to happen because I think Shakur is under long-term contract with Top Rank, and Tank is under long-term contract with Showtime. So I don't expect, like, maybe that fight could be across from, maybe not. I don't know. I just don't expect it.
Yeah, but right now, though, I mean, Shakur and both Devin are with ESPN, Top Rank.
Yeah, no, listen, if they could get, so today they just started releasing released the trailer for Loma versus Devin. Right. So that fight, it seems like, is really far along. So if Shakur is going to jump the line the way that they were just talking about over the weekend, then it seems like somebody's going to have to, like, come up with an envelope.
Yeah, so
I'm
this
optimistic. I'm
let me ask you
optimistic,
this.
but realistic, like being pragmatic about it, is like it's a fight by fight basis. This is also the last fight for Devin Haney, and
Yes.
everything that those both guys were saying is that they'll link up at some point, and it's for everything. And for everything to me means also the most money they can make for, like, leveraging their friendship for punching each other in the face for cash, right? And I think that happens at 147.
Yeah, so but this is my deal right here, right? So if because Devin Haney could very well go in there and lose to Lomachenko. So you're gonna so let's just say you lose to Lomachenko at 135. Do you do a rematch or do you move up to 140 after that? Or do you do the Tiafimo thing? Right? Lose and say, you know what, this is not my weight class, I'm weight drained. Let me go up to 140 now. I don't think that's a good look. I
Well, hold
don't.
on a second. Would you rather? So, do you think you would rather lose to Lomachenko for the same reason? Sorry,
You say
lose to Shakur for the same reason?
yes, I would much rather want to lose to Shakur Stevenson than Lomachenko, because let's be honest about it. Lomachenko has already been beaten twice. He's already been beaten twice. You don't get a chance to take people's O all the time, bro. And when I say take somebody's O, I'm talking about you taking somebody O that it's a pound for pound fighter, one of the best in the world, and he actually wants to fight you. This is a rare opportunity, and it's two brothers, and they're with the same network right now currently. Yeah, I would want the Shakur Stevenson fight because I mean, at the end of the day, we all know that Devin's going to move up. So it's all just going to be determined on whether, hey, you know what? I'm moving up to 140 regardless after this fight. Let's just hypothetically say that's his plans. I don't know. I'm just assuming, obviously. Win, lose, or draw, right? Well, you know Shakur is going to be at 135 for a while. Obviously, Lomachenko is going to be at 135 because he really shouldn't even be fighting there, honestly. Probably should be fighting at 130. But look, at the end of the day, I think it's a better opponent in Shakur Stevenson than it is in Vasily Lomachenko, who honestly didn't look like the Lomachenko that we're used to seeing, although he did pull off the victory. I do think he will bring his A game when he fights against Devin, but at the same time, he's already a defeated fighter. He's already a defeated fighter. Now, if you're looking at it from Devin's perspective, he's saying, nah, we owe this guy an ass whooping, then that's cool. That's fine. If you feel like you owe him an ass whooping because you should have fought him 2 or 3 years ago, that's cool. 2 years ago, that's fine. But at the same time, boxing doesn't stop, the division doesn't stop, and right now you got a new guy at 135 pounds. His name is Shakur Stevenson, and I am picking him to beat you, Devin. That is my pick because I think Shakur is that good. I think he is the best of those guys, and that's just where I stand with it. So I prefer to see that fight over an already defeated Lomachenko who didn't look like the Loma I'm used to seeing. So, hey, at the end of the day, I think it just comes down to preference. As far as the money is concerned, I don't know how much more money would be invested in Lomachenko versus Shakur. I don't know if it's that much of a difference to even make a big deal about it. That's just me.
Oh, okay. So when I was talking about the money part, I was talking about more the Tank Shakur Devin fights. Um, but yeah, like most of it, I totally agree with you, and um, really, I think it's just the idea more of if you could own the idea of fighting either or versus fighting both, right? So if you're gonna fight both, then you fight Loma next, and you'll fight Shakur at some point, either at 40 or 47. Um, if you're just gonna like pick one over the other, then yeah, I think I and most everybody you would ask think there's very few people, like the majority of people think that Shakur is a tougher fight for Devin Haney at this point than Lomachenko. Um, but there are this contingent of people who think Lomachenko beats Devin Haney. Um, and I, for one, um, you know,
Wayne Tall got Loma.
yeah, like, I'm just saying, like he's not alone. I don't have Loma, right? And perfectly, like really, if I was to be like, if I could, snap my fingers and have my own way, it would be Tank fighting Loma, and um, and Devin fighting Tio, right? That's the fights I'd like to see. And I don't know, Shakur fights somebody at 35. He just got there. I mean, and that's the other part of this whole thing is like, while you pick him to beat Devin Haney and you would prefer it, and like I said, I think everybody thinks that's a tougher fight. Um, the if Devin gets beat, then Shakur beat a weight drained Devin, and if Devin beats Shakur, then Devin beat a guy who never had a fight at 135 pounds. So like the idea that even like you can always run like a counter narrative, right? Like you could always denigrate a fight. You could call them old and all this other stuff, but people are saying that like Devin Haney is pillow fisted and he's not that good. He's not special. Loma is like a generational talent. He's gonna beat him. That's what people think. I don't think that, right? But I'm more of the like fight them both.
Hey, I got Terrell on the I got my little dude Terrell on the panel. Go ahead, man. What you think about we were talking about these guys mixing it up. What you think about it, man?
Well, first I want to say how y'all doing, man. How everybody?
Chilling, man. Thanks for asking. How you doing?
For sure, good. But yeah, you say y'all talking about if what y'all think would happen if Devin and Shakur fought right now?
Well, all these young guys, like Shakur, T.O., what you think about these young crop of guys? Should they be mixing it up by now, or are you in favor of waiting another 2-3 years?
I think some of them should get it on right now. But I do what the man was just saying right there. I do agree that a lot of people they have a lot of counter narratives that are ready. So I definitely could see some fights having to wait. I think that the Devin and Shakur fight is one of those fights. I think he made up some good points. You should definitely just wait until they're both established at a good weight that they've been at for a while. But certain fights like Tank and Ryan Garcia and stuff like that, that stuff has kind of been overdue. Tail to fight one of those guys, that's kind of been overdue. So I think there's some of those where they got an excuse to wait, and others that should have been happening should be happening right now.
Okay. This see, I I get what y'all saying. Y'all have some good points. Of you may want the if you want to pick Shakur and Haney, you may want that fight to marinate a year or 2 years. I get what y'all saying. The only thing about that is this is boxing, man, and boxing is not a sport where you can afford to say I need to wait. It usually doesn't turn out well, man. We all, I mean, I know some of y'all a little bit younger on the panel, but we all know and we all heard the stories on how um, Don King tried to get a easy fight for a stay busy fight for Tyson. You know, in between him fighting Holyfield, they ended up fighting Buster Douglas. In America, they weren't going to sanction the fight nowhere in America. They had to go overseas to fight the fight. He fought Buster Douglas and he got upset it. And then you want to fast forward to some recent times. We got Juan Manuel Lopez. Remember he was undefeated. With Gamboa was undefeated. They was both out there doing their thing, and that fight didn't happen because Barbarian wanted the Salido fight to happen first, and Salido, the World Warrior, upset it, Juan Mel, and we never got the Gamboa fight. So, in this other fights, so we can't look. These guys are prime and ready to go. That's the thing, man. These guys are look. Tank is older than all of them guys. Tank is like what 27, 28 now, right? Tank about 28. We have to look at this. Just look at this. Thomas Hearns fought Sugar Ray Leonard when he was 22 years old, man. And nobody said how young he was. De La Hoya was fighting Pernell Whitaker at 23, 24. Come on, man. It's time for these guys. Look, I'd rather see them fight when they're fresh and they can run it back and run it back again. Once these guys see, because you get to a man gets to a point to where he wants peace. All the whole testosterone macho thing is out your system and you just want peace. You start having 2 and 3 kids. You start seeing the world different. You don't want to you don't want your kids to see you with a black eye, busted nose. So you go in there and you don't fight with the ferocity you would have fought when you was a young man. And then we get an underwhelming fight. I'm telling you right now, if Shakur Stevens and Devin Haney fight within the next 6 months, that's the best fight we're going to get from them. It's not going to be 2 years from now. It's not going to be 3 years from now. It's going to be 6 months from now. We will get a classic, a potential classic out of these two guys. And that's jumping me to my next topic. Bill Haney said, and Phil, you was talking about it the other day, Bill Haney said that Shakur Stevenson can jump the line over Lomachenko. That's what Bill Haney said. They was all on IG Live. They were all talking. It was Bill Haney, Devin Haney, and Shakur Stevenson. And Bill Haney said, all you have to do is go tell Bob Arum, you want to jump the line. You get in there with your people. I get it. I come with Devin Haney. You come with your people, and we make the fight. So what do y'all think about that potential fight that can happen? And they talking about it happening next.
So look, let me say this real quick. So this is my deal. So we got 4 people on the panel, right? And when I speak about this, I'm not bringing in what I think people are going to have built-in narratives or anything like that. What I'm saying is how I see the fight and how I think you guys would potentially see the fight. I'm not going to have any narratives. You know why? Because I think these two guys are very, very good, okay, at what they do. At 135 pounds, I think Devin can make the weight. Obviously, Shakur should be able to make the weight. You know, I don't think people who would say that, oh, this guy's weight drained and this guy just got to the division, to me, that's just people that's not really looking at the sport how they should. What I see is 2 very talented young men that wants to prove that they're the best in that particular division. I don't care how long you've been there. It's no different than when people come up and weight and fight people and win. We've seen Roy Jones do it. You know, we've seen people do it years and years past. So look, at the end of the day, if you want to be great, this is the sacrifices that you need to make. This is the sacrifice that you need to make. This is a macho sport. When them guys get in there, they're going to try to insert dominance on one another. All the outside noise, the people bringing in excuses and stuff, I'm not trying to hear that because I know these guys are making the sacrifices. I know these guys are right now at peak level Okay, they've been neck and neck since these guys have turned pro. One's just always been a weight class in front of the other guy. These guys literally came up together. They need to fight. Like my man B Talk just said, people who have the built-in narratives, I'm not trying to hear it because, like I said, these kids are elite, and elite fighters need to fight other elite fighters. That's the only way I see it. I don't care about the weights and all that other kind of stuff. If you make weight, you get in there, you can fight. Whoever wins is the best person on that night. Bottom line, people wants to use narratives for the debate format. When actuality, let's just call it like it is. The best fighting the best, because that's exactly what it is.
Well, I don't know that Loma doesn't represent that. Like the same people that the narrative will be that Loma is old will be the same people who do the narrative that Shakur never fought at 135. That was like kind of my only point about that. Like that that sword cuts both ways. But like I was listening to both you and Wayne talk, and I think that I probably can agree that as you get older, like your sort of perspective changes a little bit, and maybe without going into the whole you just become maybe just get a different like perspective about the way to go about things. And I can, from a fight fan standpoint, like I said before, I think everybody agrees that Shakur is the better fight and represents the bigger threat. But when I like the idea of like a fighter going in there perhaps physically compromised, like because of severe dehydration, like that, those kinds of like thoughts, like that kind of I don't know, those kinds of concessions in the sake of a good fight, like kind of left me with Gerald McClellan. Like I just like while I can appreciate like the value of the fight, like one versus the other, like when I look at the risk, it's of doing both.
Can I ask you something? Can I ask you
Of doing
something just
both,
real
I'm
quick?
just like I don't like. All I'm saying is I can't go there with you guys. Like I get it, but I just
No,
can't
no,
go
no. I
there
got
with
you,
the
but
same thing.
I just want to ask you something because you keep talking about the risk and the dehydration and stuff like that. I'm gonna be honest with you, and obviously I'm assuming you're talking about Devin Haney,
Yeah,
right?
I'm talking about I'm talking about him doing both, not one or
Okay,
the other.
so let me
But I'm just talking about him
okay,
doing both fights.
let me ask you a question, right? Um, did I understand you say you didn't like the way he looked in the weigh-in, right?
In
But
last
I'm
fight,
more
yeah, in the last
concerned.
fight, yeah.
Yes, okay. I'm more concerned about how did he look to you on fight night? That's my question for you.
I think he looked all right in fight night. I think that if he didn't look so bad in the weigh-in, he might have had something more to offer, and he might have not. And also, he might have just been in a completely different state of mind, right? Because that's what being drained is. That's what your energy level does. It changes the way you think.
And
Okay, no, I mean, yeah, that's your opinion. I mean, that's cool. I think Devin looked good. I mean, he didn't look sluggish to me. He didn't look tired. He looked like his stamina was there. He looked just as powerful as he always has looked. He even tried to, at some point, I thought he was going to stop this guy during that second fight. But I got you. So, I mean, that's cool.
Yeah, no. See, the thing is, I think that nothing that Kambosos could do could beat Devin Haney. So whatever energy Kambosos brought, Devin Haney was going to be able to counter that regardless. And like I said, he rehydrated to like junior middleweight. So it's not like he didn't lack the size or anything like that. I'm just saying when it comes to me being totally on board with what you're saying, I just can't get there because I saw the way he looked at the weight. That's it. But like everything else is like I think you're
No,
100%
I
spot on.
got you. Yeah.
I think you're
Yeah, no,
100% spot
I
on. I just
agree. I
can't.
agree. He did look pretty frail during the weigh-in. I mean, I don't disagree with that. But
Yeah,
I mean, a
and
lot
I'm
of
just
fighters
down with that
look
shit.
like that during the
And,
weigh-in. Yeah.
yeah, and I get you. Like he can rehydrate, he do all this. Like I'm with that. I'm just saying that like I'm not going to be the guy that's been like go in there, then something goes wrong, and I'm like, yeah, I know he did look fucked up in that thing, but I really want to see that fight. Like, I'm not trying to be that dude. Like that, I'm good. I like a good fight, but I don't like a good fight that much.
Yeah, but I don't think my thing is I don't think he was compromised on fight night. That's my whole deal. But I got you.
See, my thing is this: when people assess the Devin Haney and the Shakur Stevenson matchup, the reason why some people got Devin Haney beating Shakur is because of his performances from 130 to 135. And since Devin Haney been at 130, 135, especially it seemed like more 135. Yes, he has been looking kind of eyeballs been looking sunk in, cheeks been looking sunk in. But when he go out there and perform, people are saying how a great of a fighter he is. So his even though he's weight drained, it's still not keeping him from being a great fighter. That's my thing. Now, if you want to say, well, you think at 140, him fighting Stevenson at 140, he got a better chance of fighting Stevenson, which I don't think it's a weight thing. I think it's a stylistic thing. The reason why Shakur Stevenson is going to beat him, they could fight at any weight. They could fight from 130 to 160. It's still going to be the same. Maybe Devin Haney may have a little bit more energy. I mean, if that's what you want to say, but if you think Devin Haney is what you think he is, it's only because you assessed him over the last year and a half or the last 2 years and said, man, that guy's special. And guess what? He's been weight drained and he's still been special. That's my thing. I mean, the world is not ideal. It's not perfect. The world is not perfect, man. Nothing is ideal. No two things is going to be equal. You know what I'm saying? So, you get what I'm saying?
I do. But there's two different things. I think that you missed like my point. Is that I don't think I'm not my assessment or like my lack of like just enthusiasm that you guys seem to have isn't based on a 2-year sample. It's based on really how he looked in his very last fight. That's just it. Like if you want to talk about a stylistic thing, yeah, we can talk about that because that's actually why I think he beats Shakur Stevenson. Is a stylistic thing, not a weight thing. Is like really the only issue that I have is why I just can't go there with like, yeah, stay down there at 135. I know that's not an ideal world. I get that. I'm just saying, like Shakur is good enough. Tank is good enough because you guys are the Shakur fans, right? Like you guys are not the Shakur fans. Pardon me.
Yeah, I got Shakur. I got Shakur.
Yeah, I got Shakur.
You guys are the guys who are picking him to win because I'm a Shakur fan too. I just don't pick him to win. So you are the people who are picking him to win. But there's other people who are picking Tank to win. And they're saying the very same thing. Like, if you're going to stay down there to fight Loma, why don't you stay down there to fight Shakur? Why don't you stay down there to fight Shakur and Tank? Like, all of these, like, there's all of these different factions. And for me, at a certain point, like, I'm checked out. While I think Devin Haney wins, I'm not like and he stays down there, it's cool. We can have a technical conversation about like why I think Devin Haney beats those guys. But when it comes down to like me getting all outraged if he doesn't stay at 135, I can't go there.
No. I'm not outraged. I'm not outraged at all. I'm not outraged at all that he not staying at 135 and fighting him. I heard from what I hear from Bill Haney and Devin Haney is they don't want to fight Shakur at 135. They want to fight Shakur at 140. And the reason why they want to fight Shakur at 140 is they believe that they're bigger than Shakur Stevenson. See, they believe that Devin Haney is the bigger fighter. So they don't want to fight him at 135, which they think that Devin Haney, and to your point, that Devin Haney is struggling to make 135. They want to go to a weight where they think they're going to be at the optimum physical realm, and they think that's 140. And they do believe that they're bigger than Shakur Stevenson, but I mean, I got a different assessment on that. Shakur Stevenson has grown into his man body. He's already from shoulder to shoulder and his back, he's already just as big, or if not bigger than Devin Haney already. So I don't think that's going to be. Like I said, I want Devin Haney to be at his best, and if he think at his best is going to be 140, so we don't have any excuses when he lose, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? That's fine. He can do that. That's his prerogative.
I agree with you on that. I could roll with you on that, but waiting all the way to 47, that's just fucking ridiculous, man.
Yeah. Waiting to
That's just out of
47.
control.
Yeah.
That's just out
Because
of control.
The question is, how long is it going to be there? Like, Shakur was not at 130 for very long, and I don't think he'll be at 135 for very long. And I can't speak to your interpretation of why they're doing what they're doing, but Devin said that they've always been the same size, and they still are the same size. So they can fight
I know that.
at any point, right? And they can fight at any point. That's the whole thing. Is they never said that they're going to fight at 135. They've always known that they're going to fight at some point, and it didn't matter what weight class it was going to be because they were basically the same size.
So all I'm saying is if a man come to your division and you undisputed and he tell you, yeah, you undisputed, but really I'm the man, like you need to fight me. I don't care about you being undisputed. I'm the best at your division. You ain't fought me. The only reason why you undisputed is because you ain't fought me yet. I'm better than you and you know this. I think you need to get on them hands with that boy.
I do too. I do too. Because you know what? It'd be different if Devin Haney had one belt. It'd be different, man. You got all the titles. When somebody come into your division that's brand new, especially, and he got the type of talent that a Shakur Stevenson got, and got the type of people out there that believe Shakur Stevenson is what he is and what he's about. You probably need to take that challenge, though, Smoke. Like, really.
You guys are missing. Okay, again, he's not the only guy. And
I know.
The only reason why you do that is if you're trying to defend the titles. If you're saying that I've outgrown the division, then you're not trying to defend the title. So who cares?
Well, no. He's trying to defend it against Lomachenko, though, because he do want to fight Lomachenko.
If this is either or, everybody prefers the other one. Now, if you can get out of them, like, listen, I understand what happened, right? So. I was there for it. I understand exactly what they're supposed to be doing. Jay Prince, Shakur, Bill Haney supposed to be going into Top Rank headquarters or having a Zoom call or whatever the hell to see if they can jump the line. I got all that. I also have what actually got released today was the trailer for Lomachenko versus Devin Haney.
I know.
So if he's going to actually jump that line, that means at least verbal agreements were made. So somebody is going to have to get an envelope for damages, for the expenses that they're out for producing, at the very least, that trailer that I saw today, but probably some other shit too.
Well, if you've seen a trailer, it's not going to happen then. It's not.
That's what I'm telling you. Today, now, you can see Lomachenko versus Devin Haney.
Oh, okay, it's not going to happen then. Yeah, it's not gonna happen then. It's not gonna happen to 140 now.
Yeah, it's not gonna. It's not. Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen at 140 either. It's gonna happen at 147. You know why? Because 140.
So you don't think it'll happen at 140?
I mean, did we ever think that Bob Arum was gonna let?
It has absolutely no money in it. Nobody
Man,
makes
hold
money
on.
at 140 pounds.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Right now, 140 might be one of the most stacked divisions.
That's what I'm saying. Do you know the names?
That's what I'm saying. That's why I don't think they'll be. That's why I don't think they'll be at 140 long. And that's why I don't think they'll fight each other at 140, because it's stacked full of killers that make no money and have basically no market value.
So you're saying this? So smoke.
Let me finish. Let me just get this off. So now you're going to take two guys who have name recognition and throw them into a pot full of killers that would love some kind of name recognition, right? Outside of like YTBC hardcore, Subio Matias, Antoine Russell, Prograis. Josh Taylor can't even sell out his own hometown in Scotland. Like these dudes would love to get that.
Josh Taylor is the man at 140. Make no mistake about it. He's the man at 140.
And think about you guys still got Ortiz hanging around too now.
Yeah, all I'm saying is, those guys are gonna pick and choose their way through, and the money division where everybody makes it probably at least a factor 5 of what they're getting right now. Maybe even up to a factor 10. That's what they're going to do. They're going to figure out because their styles are good enough. They're good enough in boxing that all they need to do is figure out how to grow into like their walking around body, their walking around rate, which is probably somewhere around like 160.
Hey, go ahead, Terrell. Get in, Terrell. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Terrell.
Get in, man.
Bro. Go ahead.
No, y'all go ahead.
No, get in, boy. Get in. Get in here.
As y'all talking, I'm just.
So look, this is what I will say right here. Like, so, I've heard several great fighters say, don't worry about the financial side. If you take care of business, the finances will be there.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a firm believer in that. Why are we talking about numbers that we do not have any fucking clue what these guys are making?
Yeah,
but I can tell you what I do have a clue about: how these boys look when they inside of this ring. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, let's talk about that, because I don't care what they make. What they make that don't excite me. Somebody getting their shit split, that's what excites me. So I prefer to talk about that, because I don't know the financial ins and outs of these guys and what they're getting at 140. I don't know the numbers of how many people Josh Taylor is bringing to the fight.
Mm-hmm.
What I know is the 140-pound division is ridiculously talented right now. Okay, and to me, if you move up to 140, I mean, it's a lot of options up there at 140. It's a shit ton of options up there at 140. This is why I don't think that Shakur is going to rush to 140 pounds, because the last thing you want to do is get to a division and be stagnant and waiting for somebody to potentially fight you. Like, that's bullshit. Right now, you're in a division where you have some good work in there. You have some established fighters in there, because really, man, all the killers is moving out of 35 and moving up to 40 right now.
Mm-hmm.
Really, all you got really lingering around there at the moment is Haney, Lomachenko, Tank Davis, and Shakur, and obviously Ryan Garcia. That's the five. That's the five. Now let's go ahead and talk about 140 pounds. I don't got enough hands and feet to do it. I just don't. If you move up to 140, you will be sitting there waiting to get a shot at one of those top guys. Like, I don't see those guys potentially doing that. I mean, at the end of the day, I think now is the time. This is the perfect division. Or, like Smoke said, they may have to skip up to 47, which is way too long to let that fight marinate. Like, it's just way too long.
Hey, I'm gonna tell y'all this though. I'm gonna tell y'all something that I think is very, very interesting, and I think Smoke just unlocked something. But I think he missed this point right here. Smoke. What if 140 is the new 47 for this era, for this particular time? And you know why? So right now, we still have Crawford and Earl Spence did not fight at 47. Keith Thurman is still there. Ortiz, young guy. Enos, young guy. I think that 47 division, none of those guys are going to go to 47 within the next 2 years anyway, because none of them want to see Enos. I know none of them want to see Enos, and none of them probably want to see Ortiz. They probably want to wait for those guys to move out of the division. But first, Earl Spence and Crawford got to move out of the division first. So the 140 division may become the money fight, because you know why? You got T.O., who you can fight in New York and build a crowd. You got Stevenson. If he moved to 140, you can go to New York, New Jersey and sell out. You got Tank Davis, who can sell out in Atlanta and down in that southern area and go home and sell out. You got Ryan Garcia, who got all those Instagram followers and people want to see him fight. He can go to California and sell out. So maybe the 40-pound division may become the money division, because it's going to be so stacked, and it's going to have the right fighters at the right time with the right home bases to make the right amount of money. I'm telling y'all, it's going to be a perfect storm.
Right. So it's not going to be the money division. It'll be just have guys in there who make money in that division that the division not used to seeing. But it's not going to be outperforming the welterweight division. The 40 division, it may be outperforming the, like, okay, so there's a couple of different things. First off, Ryan
35 right now, I would probably say is potentially outperforming 47 across the board.
Yeah, because 47 is so stagnant because of Crawford and what's name is not fighting.
Across the board, I think 35 is outperforming.
147 has become stagnant over the last couple of years.
Hold up a second. I don't. When I say I'm talking about a lucrative division. I'm not talking about whether or not it's stagnant, or whatever the hell. Like, I'm talking about how Terrence Crawford can get a reported 8 figures to fight David Avenesian, or how Mikey Garcia can get $7 million to fight Jesse Vargas.
Yeah,
Or
but Eddie Hearn just
That's
offered Tank
situational
Davis
though.
10 million.
That's
No, that's
situational
not
Yeah,
though.
but I'm
situational.
saying, but
I'm telling you.
Eddie Hearn just offered Tank Davis $10 million.
Do
And
you know
I
what? Do you know what Eddie Hearn is willing to
that's
pay
my
Devin
point.
Haney versus Shakur
That is my
Stevenson if they
exact
come to the
point.
zone?
That
Do you
is
know
my
how much
that,
money Eddie Hearn would get him?
I wasn't done. I didn't interrupt any of those guys. Again, you guys are making my point for me. They're guys, not the division. Ryan Garcia makes more money than the division typically makes. Tank Davis makes more money than the division typically makes. Devin Haney makes more money than the division typically makes. Outside of that, you got a Lomachenko who was the highest paid guy until those guys dwarfed him. But that is all of the guys that are outside the money the division typically makes. But if you look at the welterweight division, you will find all kinds of guys making multi-millions of dollars as far as the eye can see, as far as you go back. It's not atypical.
Like who? Like who? Like who?
Like
How many guys at 47
like
making
said,
really good money?
I'm talking about
Like who?
I'm talking about like just like regular guys, like not even the cream of the crop money guys.
Who?
Hey,
Guys,
Smoke. No. Hold on, Phil. Smoke. At 47, who's making significant money at 47? Give me the names.
Just said, like I just said, like Terrence Bud Crawford.
Okay, that's one.
Getting a reported 8 figures for fighting Devin Avanesian. Like Mikey Garcia getting $7 million to fight.
Mikey Garcia's not fighting no more.
Like Ugas. I'm talking about the divisions. That's why. And that's not one guy. I'm not even talking about
Ugas. Hold on.
I'm not listening. I'm not even talking about the man. Hold up a second, guys. Understand what I'm saying to you. I'm not even talking about the Manny Pacquiao's or the Floyd Mayweathers. I'm just talking about.
But they're not there no more, though. I'm talking about people that are present.
Because I'm talking about the historically how much.
No. I understand that the 47 division is historically, I know, richer. I ain't saying I'm not. No. I'm saying the generation that we in right now, with these guys fighting at 140, they can probably make 140 hot because of the situation.
I'm not talking about.
I got what you're saying. All you're talking about is there will be a couple of guys at 140. That doesn't mean that 140 will outperform
nobody
147.
at 47 is making any money right now.
Okay,
nobody at 47 right now is making money.
Okay,
apples to apples right now. Traditionally, we're not finna go back because we're not talking about 25
No, I'm talking about now, bro. I'm talking about now and forever.
Okay.
That's why I'm projecting forward. I'm talking about. The reason why I'm projecting forward.
Hold on. You named Terrence. You said Terrence Bud Crawford's getting 8 figures, right?
Yep.
Okay. I just told you. Hold up. I just told you. Tank Davis just got offered $10 million as well as Ryan Garcia. That's 2. Give me somebody else that's making 8 figures.
Right. So again, like I said, if I went through,
give me somebody smoke. Give me somebody else that's making 8 figures. Like don't talk around. We can go back and forth, and I can show you with the numbers that right now 135 is more lucrative than 147 pounds, excluding the historical factor. Right. And excluding the historical factors that you inserted earlier. Right now, apples. Hold on, Smoke. Right now, apples to apples, 147 is not traditionally how it normally is, because right now it's not the cash division. 135 is.
That's a fact.
Okay, again, what you are talking about is the fact that Tank Davis is making money, not the entire division is making money. I am talking about the entire division. When I said Ugas and Mikey Garcia, I wasn't mentioning I wasn't mentioning the cream of the crop, 147. You are, because I'm making a distinction about divisions, not individuals. Goes, of course, the money will be there. Where Devin goes, the money will be there. Where Ryan Garcia goes, the money will be there. Cool. That doesn't make the division. That means the money will be there. That just means that those guys, just like wherever Canelo goes, the money will be there. That doesn't make the division fucking hotter. That just means Canelo is hot.
No. Hold on, Smoke. It goes hand in hand. As long as they're in the division, they make the division hot. Come on, man.
No, as long as they're fighting that guy. As long as they're fighting him.
Hold on. So this is what I'm saying. You talking about Udonis Ugas, right? Udonis Ugas is not a $1 million fighter. He just so happened to have one fight where he made $1 million. All his other fights was making hardly any money. 100,000, 200,000, 300,000. Like, so you saying, guys, you again, you're naming guys in the division, right? You're saying that overall the 147 guys are making significantly amount more money than these guys that, let's just say, 35 or 40. When I disagree with that, because for every one guy you can name, I can name another guy in the division. Okay, so in a different division that's making equivalent money to that. So what my point is this right here. Okay, it is more people making money at 135 right now than they are at 147 pounds.
Okay, again, Ryan Garcia is not even making money at 135 pounds. So the three guys who are making money at 135 pounds is Lomachenko from Guaranteed Purses, Devin Haney because he's his own promoter and getting a whole bunch of money, and Tank Davis is because he's own promoter and has been knocking the shit out, and he's an unprecedented draw. No other person.
Shakur Stevens is $1 million fighter.
Again, your Dennis Ugas got like $5 million. When I didn't say $1 million, I said multi-million.
But that's an extreme case. The top five guys at 147, the top five guys at 147 do not get paid like the top five guys. That's simple enough.
Again,
they don't.
Ryan Garcia,
they don't.
If you name the top five,
so the top,
Ryan Garcia,
like I was saying,
he probably
Ryan Garcia is not.
This is a top three.
Why can't I get it? Why can't I finish my thought? Like, why is every single time I'm trying to get my entire thought out, you guys try to go on a minutia?
This is like my second time talking. What are you like?
Again, I'm not done speaking. I don't understand why you guys keep interrupting me, but I'm not interrupting you. So, like I was saying, before we got involved in this entire thing, those guys are going to pick and choose their way, and wherever they fight, sure, they will make money. But if you think that, okay, is Robert what's this guy? Frank the Ghost Martin, is he making multi-millions? No, he's not. Is Michelle Rivera making multi-millions? No, he's not. Is any of the guys that Lomachenko's fighting making multi-millions? No, they're not. The only reason, so Kambosos made $3 million because, whatever. It is what it is. But Devin Haney is making multi-million dollars because he's getting 2 checks. Not because the lightweight division is like on fire, is because the way that Devin Haney has structured his business and positioned himself in the market. The reason why Tank Davis is making a whole bunch of money is because he's Tank Davis and the way he's positioned himself in the market. When it comes to the welterweight division, because it has the eyes that it has on it, you have guys like Keith Thurman, who is making multi-millions. You have guys like Ugas, who is making multi-millions. And then you have the top earners, like when it comes to
But Ugas is not making multi-millions though, bro. Like, stop it, bro. I can't let you just spread that lie.
All right. Ugas in his last 2 fights, Ugas made multi-millions.
Ugas got 500. Ugas got 500,000 to fight against Earl Spence Jr. 500,000.
Okay. All right.
So
it was reported. So here it is. All we're going on is from reports from any of these guys. So from the reports, Ugas made at least $4 million from the reports. So now you can take the low end or the high end. I don't know why it would be like he would make 500,000, but okay. But if there's reports that said he made $4 million, and Ugas is not one of the highest paid guys. I don't think Rolly Romero made $4 million fighting fucking Tank.
Okay,
anyway,
so let me ask you something, because when you say a guy makes a certain amount of money, so if Ugas fights against Josecito Lopez on Saturday, is he going to get multi-millions, or is he, or are they going to bump him back? Hold on, bro. Hold on. Smoke. You wasn't talking. I'm talking now. You say you're not interrupting people, but you're interrupting me. Are you done or you're not done? Because I can let you keep cooking.
All I would say, I think you're not engaging with the idea that I said that this was only a part because I think they're going to fight at 147. That's my only point about all of this.
Okay. Well, you're the one that brought up finances, something that I hate to do, but this is what I will say. We do have an idea what these guys are making. When you sit here, you talk about Udonis Ugas, you're saying, oh, he made this and then he made this. If Udonis Ugas steps into the ring and fights against Josecito Lopez, he's not getting multi-million dollars, bro. That's just the reality of it. He got that money because of who he was fighting and how he got the fights. Okay? That's the reality of it. He's not a multi-million dollar fighter. He got a fight or two where he was fortunate enough to make a bunch of money. That does not make you a $1 million fighter. These guys that we're naming are guys, no matter who they get into the ring with, these guys are getting multi-million dollar paydays or $1 million paydays. So my point is this right here. When you look at the division and you break it down and you go dollar for dollar with the top 5 guys in the division on a consistent basis, not a one-off scenario where you're fighting against maybe Earl Spence Jr. and it's on pay-per-view and you just so happen to make $1 million this fight. No, I'm talking about somebody who is well established and has made a name for themselves and is earning $1 million purses because they have put in the work on a consistent basis, no matter who they step in the ring with. 47, I don't think is fucking with 35 right now. And we can look it up. I don't know how much Rolly made against Tank, but I would imagine it's probably his biggest payday. You know why? Because his Tank is no different than Ugas fighting Spence or fucking Pacquiao. I'm not finna put fucking Rolly in this conversation because he doesn't belong here, because he's not a $1 million fighter on a consistent basis. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. You can't. Go ahead.
Right. You just made the point. Rolly has Tank and nobody else. Ugas has Thurman. He has Spence. He had Pacquiao, because there's more opportunities there to make multi-millions per fight because it's a more lucrative division.
No, that's not the case. I don't think he makes multi-million dollars fighting against Keith Thurman. I don't think that happens. No way, no how. That does not happen. He does not make multi-million dollars fighting against Keith Thurman right now. He fought against Sean Porter. What do you
Sean Porter made multi-millions. That's another guy who made multi-millions at 147.
Yeah, I get it. Sean Porter's retired.
Yeah, I got it. But we're talking about he just retired this year. Like, so what? I don't understand. Like, it's not like I'm going back to 20 years in the past. Like, all I'm telling you is the welterweight division is replete with guys who have made multi-million. Danny Garcia is another guy who made multi-millions. I don't have to. It's not limited to 3 dudes.
Who's limited to 3 dudes?
The lightweight division.
So you don't think Shakur Stevenson is making $1 million person? I'm just asking.
Okay, he's not even fought at the lightweight division one fight, bro.
He's fighting at 135, and he has a contract.
His multi-million.
What are you talking about?
Whatever. What are you talking about? Okay, all of his purses to date have been in the division, not in the lightweight division. Since I'm talking about the lightweight division, since I'm talking about the viability of the lightweight division, and whether or not those guys, I expect them to fight in the welterweight division. All I'm talking about is guys who fought in the lightweight division. What I see is guys that I see in when I'm looking at it in this same time frame. If I were to look at the last 5 years of the welterweight division, it would dwarf the receipts of the lightweight division.
Bro, we're not
absolutely
talking
divorced. So we're not going back 5 years. So if I go back this, if I look at this
we're
year,
going with active fucking fighters in the division.
So we go back this year. So you just want to look at this year.
We're going with active fighters in the division. Why is it so hard for you to understand? If you have 135 and you're active, hold on, let me make this clear because you're acting confused. If you're at 135, hold on, 1 second. If you're at 135, if you fight at 135 and you're a multi-million-dollar fighter and you are a $1 million fighter and you're active, you are included in this conversation. As if you are an active fighter and you fight at 147, you are included in this conversation. If you don't, then you are not included in this conversation. That's as simple as that. I'm not going back 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, I'm going with active fighters currently right now putting in that fucking work and getting paid for it. That's what I'm talking about.
All right. So Shakur Stevenson, I don't know what the hell he's made, but I know he hasn't made a single dime at 135 pounds. So that really has nothing to do with my prediction about like why they would fight at 147. Like absolutely nothing. Like what I'm telling you is if Shakur Stevenson, if he's worth millions now, he will be worth tens of millions at 147 pounds because the 147 pounds is just a more lucrative division. That's my entire point.
Okay. Well, I'm looking at it right now. Shakur got 3 million.
Cool. It would be it would be at least a factor of 2 if it was in the welterweight division. Because he's been fighting
I'm saying, hold on.
No money in it at all.
I'm telling you, he got 3 million.
Awesome. And he's got 3 million in 2 divisions that typically make no money at all. Great for Shakur Stevenson.
He's got 3 million. We can go look up. You want? Do we need to look up Devin shit? I don't think we need to.
I don't know what it is you're on right now. All I'm telling you is whatever it is. No, I'm telling you whatever.
Why am I on something?
I don't know if you're engaged with what I'm saying.
Why am I on something? Because you're wrong. If you go fighter for fighter right now per division, 135 is more lucrative.
Okay, so
fighter
every
by
single
fighter.
Person. So how about this? How about I attack it from this end?
Hold on, bro.
What person made more money at 135 pounds than they made at 147 pounds? What person in the history of 135 pounds made more money there than 147?
Let's change an argument. Now you're going back to history.
No, I'm telling you.
No,
why
you're going back to history.
Okay,
you're going back to history.
You're not understanding my point, bro. I'm telling you, whatever they're worth at 135, they'll be worth more than that at 147.
But his point is that the people at 135 are getting paid right now. So of course, if you go back,
the people at 147 are getting paid right now.
Who?
I just named them. Oh my God!
You named
keep naming the same names over and over again.
You named Ugas who fought.
That was all this year, bro. This all 2022.
Who makes money right now? Spence makes money right now. Crawford makes money right now.
All of that was 2022.
Who's making money right now at 147?
Okay, again, I named all of the guys. I named guys made it.
Who is making money right now at 147?
Again, I named them all. I named them again. Like I said, regardless of who it, like I keep telling you guys, regardless of what it is,
who is making money right now?
Okay. So when I tell you that, again,
who is making money right now at 147?
Over and over again.
You're not gonna answer, bro.
I've already answered your question
right now. Name it. Who's making money?
Because I've already answered it. And I'm trying to go through this. I'm trying to because I feel. All right. Again, I feel like you're looping very hard. I've already answered this question.
I'm asking you a direct question
over and over again.
I'm asking you a direct question.
I know you are, and I've already answered it over and over again. And I'm trying to go past the fact that
I'm directly asking you
to ask me the question that I've already answered over and over again. So, like, what I'm trying to say to you is, it doesn't even matter. The entire point is because historically. The welterweight division has been more lucrative than the lightweight division. Is why I think
people right now
again
they're at 135 making money right now. The people right now at 147 are not making money.
I know you are, but
everybody makes money everywhere.
Oh my God, dude. Okay.
So all right. So let me hold on. I got you. Hold on.
So you
understand? I got you, bro. But this is what I will say. Hold on. This is what I will say. I will say this right here.
Oh my God.
The welterweight division is making so much money that they couldn't come up with the money to fucking pay Spence and Bud Crawford for one of the biggest fights in history. That's how much money they making. I got you. Okay.
Okay. So it's making so much money. It's making so much money that Bud was able to get two hedge fund investors to invest $50 million. Who was doing that in the lightweight division? Crickets. Like I was saying to you, the reason why I'm telling you that I think that this fight will happen in the welterweight division is because the welterweight division is more lucrative than the lightweight division.
Bro, I mean, look, at the end of the day, this is what I will tell you. Right now, Eddie Hearn just made an offer to Tank Davis and Ryan Garcia, a $20 million. This is people without titles. Okay? These motherfuckers don't even have titles. Okay?
No hedge fund needed.
He just offered these he say $20 million, okay, split down the middle, 50-50, 10 apiece, and they would have an opportunity to make money on the back end with pay-per-view. Bro, like, this is not, again, you're talking
Austin,
about
they're making
Terrence
money.
Bud Crawford. Hold up. You're talking about Terrence Bud Crawford, #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the world, okay? And I get it. These people are offering him a deal of a lifetime. But let's not act like for a second, just because they paying him that money, that they're going to come up on top as far as making money off of Terrence Crawford, because the numbers have already been revealed on the guy. Bob Arum has already put the numbers out there and showed you. We're going to see just on Saturday, because he fights on Saturday. I will order the fight. I don't give a fuck how much it costs. I'm going to support the brother. But guess what, though? I don't think everybody's going to support Terrence Crawford like I am, and like potentially you guys are. So all I'm saying is this right here, bro. I get it. It's money in the welterweight division. I get it, man. But at the end of the day, fighter for fighter, I'm talking about 135 right now is more lucrative than 147, because we got guys without titles making $10 million, bro. What the fuck are you talking about? You give me somebody that's not fighting for a title or fighting one of the guys with the title that's making that kind of money. Like, you cannot do it, bro. You cannot do it. And you keep talking about Ugas. I can guarantee you, we can look up Udonis Ugas. We can look up Udonis Ugas' purses, bro. He ain't getting bread like that. You tripping. He's not.
I'm not tripping off anything, bro. Like, listen. You for some reason, you guys fail to like just engage with the actual argument that I'm making, and you're going off on like really weird tangents. Like, for real. All I'm saying to you is, all I'm telling you is, nobody. $20 million is a hell of a lot of money. Thank cool. Tank is the highest paid lightweight out there. Great. He got offered $20 million for the most lucrative fight in boxing. So one of the most lucrative fights in boxing is in the what division? The welterweight division. It was offered $50 million. Whether or not people thought it was going to be worth. Hold up a second. Whether or not we think that they were going to recoup that $50 million, everybody knows that $50 million is more than $20 million by even half. It laps $20 million, and it keeps on going for damn near almost triples $20 million. So when I talk about the welterweight division, when I say I think that these fights between Tank, Devin Haney, and Shakur happened at the welterweight division because the welterweight divisions make more money, is because I think no matter how much money those guys are making at the lightweight division, which is great money, I think it'll be more at the welterweight division, because the welterweight division has historically lapped the lightweight division, and it still is.
Okay, so that don't have nothing to do. That don't have nothing to do with what money these boys is getting. This is my point right here. This welty division that you're speaking of right now is not more lucrative than 135. That's my point. This division with all of this money that you speak of, and how these people are going to be making so much more money because at 147, they're not doing it though. You have to show me tangible proof that motherfuckers at 147 right now is making more money than motherfuckers at 135. I don't think you can do that. If you name one fight, which is the biggest fight in the world, I get it. Okay, yeah, sure. Are they going to put up that kind of fucking money for all the other fights, though? No, they're not. They're just not going to do it. They're just not going to do it, brother.
No, I hear you. So if you go through, right. So if I was to put the same, like my same thinking cap on and go, hey, like, what division does the most lucrative fights in boxing happen typically? Like, is it the welterweight division or is it lightweight division? I think I'm going to come up with the welterweight division like almost fucking 10 times out of 10. So like that's why I'm picking this fight to happen at the welterweight division. I don't know why you guys don't understand this, but go ahead, keep arguing about it.
That's not the conversation though. Apples to apples, division to division right now, money being passed around within the division.
You want me to get him back on the conversation? Because I did bring it up. I said this. I said, what if the 140 division will become the new 47 as far as making money? Because you know why? The opponents are there, and the the breakdown of these guys geographically in the places they can fight, they can make money, man. Like I just told you, you got Ryan Garcia, you got California, that's Ryan Garcia. You got New York, New Jersey, that's Shakur. You got New York, that's Tio. It's like they all over the place. You got Regis in the South, so they can potentially make a lot of money at 140 before they get to 47. That's what that was my. It wasn't historically because I understand what Smoke is saying. Smoke is saying if they can get to 47, they can make more money because historically you can make more money at 47. And I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
And that can probably be for only a couple of them. But I'm saying overall, for like maybe 10 of those guys can get some big purses fighting each other because of how I just broke it down on how they can make money in their hometowns by look, Shakur Stevenson can make money fighting Josh Taylor in his hometown of New York, New Jersey. Tio can make money with Devin Haney if he fight Devin Haney in New York. That's all I'm saying. I'm saying that the money could very well be at 140. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying historically. I'm not saying
I'm saying that those fights will make money if they've happened at 135, 140. I'm just saying for those fights to leverage the amount of money that those guys will make for as high as they could go, it's probably going to be at 147. Right, so yes, they can make and those other fights. Those other fights are the other fights I expect to happen, like those other money fights, just not each other. And I think Tank will pick and choose his way at 140. Like I think he will have a couple of fights at 147. Probably both of those guys. I think the Ryan fight. People are optimistic that it happens at 130. Next, but it's essentially happening at 140. Even if it happens next, it's not happening at 135, right? Anyway, it like going up another 5 pounds. I don't know. I just see it. Anyway, it is what it is. I think this money.
I get what you're saying, Smoke. You saying the top of the mountain, they're gonna get paid that much money. But
correct.
also historically, at 47, only one fight is gonna get that much money. Everybody else is not gonna get that at 147. It's gonna be the two people that are left. It's gonna be the two people that are left are gonna get that pie. Everybody else not gonna get that pie.
Bro, those guys on the way to that pot make a ton of money. Like Terrence Crawford.
No. What I'm saying is only one
Terrence Crawford's getting a whole bunch of cheese before this whole thing.
Smoke, you know what I'm saying. Only 2 fighters in that division are going to get that money, and everybody else going to be left out in the cold. That's what I'm saying.
You're talking, right? Only when we're talking
but
about.
At 140, if they all mix up, they can all eat.
Hold up a second. When I was talking about 147, I was talking about the most lucrative fight in boxing. Of course, every other fight is going to be taking the backseat to that. That includes the entire 140-pound division. That includes the entire 130-pound division where Shakur was making his millions of dollars, or the featherweight where he was making his money. However you do those things, that fight is going to it's going to lap. It's going to dwarf all those other divisions' receipts. Whatever they do. Like
look. So you saying, put it this way, because none of these guys got star power like Mayweather and Pacquiao, none of them. So let's put it this way. Let's just say the hedge fund come through next year and Spence accepts the hedge fund's money and they both get paid $25 million a piece. Let's just say that, and then they get some money on the back end of some pay-per-view. And let's just say they both take home probably closer to 40,000. I mean, not 40,000, 40 million a piece. Let's just say that. So that's 80 million on the table. What I'm saying is 140 can beat that number. With those guys fighting, 140 can beat that number of $80 million. Period.
Okay.
And they all gonna be equal.
Okay. So here's the thing. None of those dudes at 140 are even doing what the dudes are doing at 135 are. Like that. All that. Like, listen, the World Boxing Super Series, it had a purse that you split. Like, it was great for boxing fans and boxing purists, but Josh Taylor went back to Scotland after that, and like I said, couldn't sell out his hometown.
No,
like that dude.
Hold up, man. Hold
I'm saying if everybody go to 140.
Hold up, though. You keep saying Josh Taylor. Josh Taylor is getting $1 million a fight, though. Like, fuck are you talking about?
Okay. That's
Okay,
great.
so
That's great. So,
okay,
like
so
I said,
hold
Josh
on,
Taylor. You made my point
whoa.
for me. You're making my point for me, though.
You keep
I told you
talking about
lost,
it
bro.
though.
What I said was 135 is making more money than
using
that. Cam Bosa's made more money than Josh Taylor.
You keep.
Once you start adding those numbers up, it's gonna surpass 80 million, though.
Bro.
Because already Phil
Hold
said that $20 million was offered for one fight, right? For
I
$20
understand,
million.
but I was talking about welterweight. We're talking about 140 now.
No.
Not 147.
I'm
now
talking about if all
135.
those guys go to 140. That's what I'm saying.
So, right. So what I'm saying is 135 is more lucrative than 140.
Yeah. Right now.
That's what I'm saying. Right. So I'm not quite sure what Phil is saying.
But you keep talking about Josh Taylor, though. Why you keep bringing up Josh Taylor?
Because Josh Taylor was the undisputed champ and all of that stuff. Like, he had all the belts and all that stuff. That's why I'm bringing him up.
But he's still $1 million fighter, though.
That's great. But right now we're comparing him to the 135 division. Yes, he's $1 million fighter, and he had all the belts. He's the guy at 135 who had all the belts is a multi-million-dollar fighter, not just as a fighter but also as a promoter.
Okay, so Smoke. So, like, I was projecting if Shakur Stevenson, Tank, Ryan, and what's the name moved to 140. I was projecting when all those guys at 140, those guys at welterweight combined are, and those guys are going to be at 140 with the potential matchups that I'm looking at, and I think the numbers are going to pan out. It may be 15 million here, 20 million here, 16 million here, because two fighters may make 8 apiece. It may be 10 million here, but what I'm saying is that 140-pound division is going to make more money than that 47-pound division, because that $80 million is not going to be able to hold all that money that those guys can make at 140, because you got Ryan that's already got his own money coming in. You got Devin that's already got his own money coming in. You will have Tank that got his own money coming in. Now you got Shakur Stevenson up in there, and now you got Regis in there. What Regis brings is an opponent that you can make money with. It's not that Regis is the money man. It's just Regis can make the money more lucrative because of the opponent he will be. It's T.O. can make money because he's a credible opponent, so it makes the fight more lucrative, because you need dance partners too, right? So 140 will have the best, not even have the most money. 140 will have the best dance partners. That's what I'm saying. They will even have the best dance partners to dance with, because you cannot take a frog to the dance. You got to take somebody that's gonna make you look good at the dance,
bro. But all I'm telling you is it's been forever that way. 140 has always been really dangerous. 140 and 154 have been this way. That's where all the killers have been, and they've never made fucking money.
No, look.
Like, even Floyd Mayweather floated through that fucking division, and for his first
he floated through the division. You right? Floated.
Exactly. That's what I'm telling you. These other guys are going to do the same thing. Sugar Shane Mosley.
Hold on. But Mayweather wasn't making that much money at 35 though. Like Tank.
Everything.
Mayweather was not making the purse that Tank was making though at 135. Mayweather didn't start making money until he fought Gotti at 140. That's when he started making money. That's when he started making money.
That's my entire point to you.
But Devin Haney them been making money since they was at 130.
Listen. All I'm saying is, whatever money he made at 140, he made way more than that at fucking 147. But that's a different point. Of course. That's even a different point. All I'm saying is to you is, what if you're looking at maximizing the value of these fights? I think the maximizing it is at 147. Is there money to be made at 140? Of course there is. But the idea that they got dance party at 140, no shit. It's always been that way. There's always been dangerous at 140.
And what I'm saying is, but it's never been this many money men at 140 though. At one time,
they're not even there yet, bro.
No. I'm saying. I just said I'm projecting. I just said I'm projecting.
The only money man is that the only money.
Did you hear me? I said I'm projecting.
Money man. Okay. No, I got you. But the only guy who's actually a money man at 140 is Ryan Garcia, and he's food.
Okay.
He might not be even there in like 2023. Right? Okay. I'm just saying, like, he might not even be the money man. Like, we only got, like, a couple of weeks left in 2022. Right? But in 2023, we might not even be hearing about Ryan Garcia. And if you talk about everyone else, the Subio Matias's, the Jackenboss, the Russell, the Gary Russells, the Ramirez, the Prograves, all those killers, even the Cepedas. what they got left in them. Those dudes don't sell peanuts.
Okay, so
The
Smoke,
Barbosas, like Barboza.
So Smoke, tell me this, and I'm only projecting. You keep on going past I'm projecting if they all at 140. Now, if they all at 140, you tell me what time in history that these many money men can potentially be at 140 in history.
Right. All you're talking about is the money men, like I keep saying to you.
But the money men are going to be the ones that make the fight.
That doesn't make the division. But okay, so here's what I'm saying. Here's a great example. Here's the thing. Canelo fighting at 168, right? Like those guys made more money than they would have made if Canelo wasn't fighting at 168. It was great. It was a golden age for guys making money at 168 pounds. At no point were they making more money than the heavyweight division.
Okay.
None of those guys.
Okay. I'm not arguing that.
That's what I'm saying to you. Yeah, those guys are money guys. They can make as much money and they can they can be a rising tide that lifts boats and all that stuff. That will not make it rise there. That rising tide will not be high enough to dwarf what the welterweight division has done. And also what tanks.
See, you keep on doing that. You keep on doing that.
Don't
keep on going to what the welterweight division has done, man.
No, because it's still there. Because Spence is still there, bro. Spence is still there.
I get what you're saying, man.
All I'm saying, okay, because you keep interrupting, so I can't finish the thought. What it has done.
I let you come in on my thought, though. I did let you come in on my thought.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I did let you come in on my thought, though.
But
what I'm gonna say is this. I get what you're saying. The maximum amount of money is at 140 to be made for one particular mega fight. I get that. And that's
for all of even the mega.
That's true. That's true. But what I'm saying is, when I project and see how these guys at 140, this may be an era that we never seen before at 140, where we have maybe 3, maybe 4 money men in the same division at the same time, which would make it a little bit unprecedented. I'm not saying the killer aspect, because the killer aspect has always been at 140. But we never, the reason why guys had to move up to 47 from 140 because they wanted to make money. Now these guys can sit at 140 and make money. They can sit at 140 and make a lot of money with each other.
That's a good point.
Then move up to 47 and make the ultimate
they
money.
Can make money.
Hold on. I don't want to. Hold on. One second. I don't want to overlook that point right there. These fighters do typically move up to 47 because 140 isn't a money division. I get it, but as Big Talk just mentioned, that it's going to turn into a money division because the money guys are going to be at 140 pounds. It goes hand in hand. I mean, at the end of the day, those guys making money at 35 are going to make money at 40. The guys making money at 40 are going to make money at 47. That's just what it's going to be. Some of those guys will taper off because some of them are going to take L's and whatnot. But traditionally, the money guys, it's going to follow them to whatever division that they go to. So you do got a good point. I think you got a good point because they won't have to leave from 140 pounds to go make money at 47 because they're already making money at 35, at 30. It just is what it is.
Hey y'all, thanks for coming through, man. I'm gonna shut this down, but look, I'm a fired up. I'm gonna fire up again tomorrow, man. We can get in. We ain't really get into the whole Shakur Stevens and Haney thing, but yeah, we can come up with some more topics tomorrow. I want to talk about the Usyk and Fury thing and Fury and his little run and what he's doing. So yeah, we'll turn up again tomorrow, man, y'all.
Yeah, I send
y'all the link.
Yeah, King. Yeah.
All right.
All right, y'all.
All right, Terrell, man.